guys, so today I'm going to be recreating RaShoda's Southern Smothered Chicken. Okay, here I used a whole pack of chicken breasts and I cut all of them in half. I also marinated the chicken for about 2 hours before I cooked it with random seasonings. I don't remember what seasonings I used. But now here I'm just putting the chicken in the pan to brown with some bacon grease. Here I'm just fitting as much of chicken I could into the pan. Okay, now while that chicken is browning, I'm gonna make the flour mix for the gravy. Here I'm using self-rising flour. It doesn't really matter. You can use all-purpose flour or self-rising flour. And a few seasonings. These are the seasonings I use to marinate the chicken. So first, slap your mama in this original Creole seasoning, onion powder, seasoning salt, parsley flakes, and then I'm gonna give it a good mix. Okay, after I make the gravy mix, I'm gonna put a little bit more bacon grease into the pan with the chicken. Okay, now it's time to flip the chicken. As you guys can tell, the chicken is still a bit raw, so I'm not gonna take it off the pan just yet. Okay, this chicken I'm finna take out the pan, it was done. So I took it out. As you guys can see, the ones in the front is still very pale looking. So I'm gonna put them in the back of the pan. For some reason, they cook better in the back of the pan. Okay, now here the chicken started to brown a bit better. Also, I forgot to mention, RaShoda used chicken thighs for hers, but I'm going to use chicken breast. So now I'm going to take the chicken out of the pan because they were cooked thoroughly. Also, the other piece of chicken that I took out the pan is missing because we ate it. But mainly me and Bo ate it. But anyways, that chicken were done. So I put the rest of the chicken that was in the bowl into the pan. For some reason, the ones in the middle started burning. So I added more bacon grease. It was probably because there was nothing in the pan. Okay, my mama saved the bacon grease from the bacon that she made a few days before this video was made. It worked very well as a substitution for butter or oil because we did not have that. And here I'm showing you guys how juicy the chicken is. That shows the use for marinating your chicken. But now I'm just flipping all of the chicken in the pan. As you guys can tell, this chicken is pretty much done. Just making sure there's no raw pieces. You don't want to eat raw chicken. Okay, here I'm flipping the chicken once again, the pieces that were not quite done to my liking. Okay, now I'm going to start taking pieces of chicken out of the pan that are done. Most of them here are pretty much done. The one to the left, I'm going to let that one cook a little longer. Okay, this was the one that I was talking about I was going to let cook longer, because it didn't have much color to it. Now that all the chicken is done, I'm gonna make the gravy. This process is very stressful because if you don't have everything prepared, it will burn. So first I'm going to put some bacon grease and some chopped onions. These are all the onions that we had, so I just threw those in there. I'm going to mix that. Also, RaShoda used bell peppers as well. I didn't have that either. Here I'm going to put in the flour that I seasoned earlier. So you're supposed to put the flour into the pan little by little with the onions and mix it in between. Also, I put some unsalted butter. I wasn't really able to record this process because I had to pour flour with one hand and mix with the other. So I just poured the rest of that flour so I was able to record. And I just mixed that together. Okay, I decided to switch to a fork because the whisk wasn't really helping as I thought it would. But here I have the gravy made and I didn't even show y'all what I did. But anyways, I put about 2 to 3 cups of water, about a half of a cup of chicken broth. I basically put water in it until the gravy got looser, and chicken broth for extra flavor. So here is the gravy. Also, I forgot to mention that I switched the pans because it was hard for me to mix without the stuff flying out of the pan. And it definitely wasn't going to be enough room for me to add the chicken. So here I'm adding the chicken into the gravy. I'm going to let that simmer for about 20 minutes or until the rice is done. I also forgot to show y'all the process of me making the rice. But here's the gravy. And here is the gravy once I decided to turn off the stove. And here's the rice. We only had a little bit of rice, so that's all I made. Thanks for watching. Bye.